Is MYOB working on notifications within MYOB Advanced itself being browser-based notifications as opposed to the mobile app notifications?
So being able to push messages to different users within the browser. I'm assuming we're talking about that.
I'm logged in to Advanced, and I might not be logged in to Advanced, but my browser is subscribed for notifications.
We started doing a bit of work around that. It hasn't progressed at this point in time. I'll be open on that one. Beverly?
I think it's also around the, if you're setting yourself reminders on all the different activities and things like that, there's a few issues there where it pops up and then the screens freeze and all of that type of effort. I think that's kind of where the question was also.
Right. So in terms of the reminders, yes, there is an opportunity. There is an option there to be able to get the reminders popping up around inside the product. We had been looking to go further down to being able to start pushing messages between people and having an event push a message out to a user within the system, but we haven't progressed that one at this point in time.
Okay.
All right, fantastic. Now, probably one for you, James. Got a question here. What year was Advanced launched?
What year was Advanced launched?
Yeah.
Okay, so Advanced,
maybe a little bit of the history.
So Advanced, the very first sale of Advanced happened in 2013, very late in 2013. More focused came onto it in 2014, 2015, sort of around. So that's when it was launched. Yep. Okay. Acumatica started building the core Acumatica product started in about 2004 or 5. I think it was when they started building the core of Acumatica, which is now Advanced.
Well, there was a question there also about upgrades and how often upgrades are rolled out, but I think you answered that within your session, James. So I'll assume that's all.
Yeah, but let me chat a little bit more about upgrades, because upgrades are always there's always a lot of our questions around upgrades. So upgrades, we try and focus on 2 major upgrades that you get every year. There are often times when there might be a couple more that we have to roll out for compliance and other reasons associated to that. But you should get very clear. Every customer should be assigned to 2 monthly windows during the course of the year. So one during the first half of the year, one during the second half of the year, when you should be getting a key upgrade at that point in time. And obviously there's some flexibility around moving those, but we really encourage you to keep up to date with those upgrades and try and maintain your schedule as much as possible.
Yeah, it's a good point, James, that you can actually have that conversation with your support partner. If you can make those drop dates work within your typical seasonality, trying to find some busy or less busy times for the organisation.
100%.
It's well worthwhile.
Yeah, 100%. So we will do an initial assignment, but there's flexibility around if you get assigned to an upgrade window, which is right in the middle of your busiest time of the year, we don't want to impact you. We really don't. So we will be happy to be flexible around this. We do push that everyone gets an upgrade once a year, at least, to be able to make sure that you are up to date with security, compliance, all of those sorts of things. But we also want to cater to your experiences and where your business is at.
Another question here, and I'll put this on to you, James, is MYOB still introducing OCR into their expense receipt process? So I know you've covered off a little bit of that, but just to augment your previous conversation.
So this all links into what I was mentioning earlier on about the AI/ML side of things. That's all linked together. Okay, so when we introduce that, it'll include the OCR for expense receipts and everything associated to that. So there's a lot that we are having to build out from a infrastructure platform requirements, and unfortunately we're working with the likes of Microsoft, we're working with the likes of AWS, because some of the componentry that we rely on was not available inside the ANZ region. That is now slowly becoming available. So we've been working with them to try and be able to get everything in place so we can roll this out. So we're really pushing hard because we know that everyone wants that.
Fantastic. Now, a question for you, Bev. Do you have instructions on how to set up dashboards and side panels?
We've got basic instructions, yes. Dashboards and side panels, though, you've got to understand where the data is coming from to get them to be anything relating to anything meaningful. So it does come from your generic inquiries. So back to what James was saying earlier, in terms of getting somebody upskilled in your business to can do generic inquiries, that's really important because everybody's reporting is different. So the software does come with some set standard dashboards that you can customize per user. So if there's some widgets on there that you don't want, you can just click on the top. There should be a customize or a design button depending on your user permissions, and then you can remove and add widgets accordingly. But in terms of the key data at the back end, you need to understand where the GIs are coming from and where your data is coming from and what you're wanting to achieve. Now, I would recommend approaching your partner to work with them with regards to that. Alternatively, Google is a really great source of information if you're wanting to go down that way. I tend to do, no offense, James, Acumatica. How do I? And Acumatica is a great source of information.
And I don't discourage that. I really don't. I would encourage people to do some Googling around that. Look at the Acumatica Open University at the same time. That's available. It's content that's there for end user training. So again, just Google Acumatica Open University. The content is there. We are going to be building out, so that you're aware, we're going to be building out a lot more content specific to Advanced because there's some subtle differences. But at the same time, you've got a phenomenal system to get the most out of it. If you need to get some, go and have a look at some of the training there. I certainly encourage it. It starts off it gives you the ability to have a really good conversation then with the likes of your partners to be able to actually understand where you want to go and how and how to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to summarize that in 3 things. Learn generic inquiries, number 1. Number 2, learn generic inquiries. Number 3, learn generic inquiries is probably the answer to that. Is that right?
And number 4, learn side panels.
Yes.
There we go. Now, look.
And side panels are linked to generic inquiries.
Now, do reach out to your support partner. I know Kilimanjaro, for example, have a 2-day advanced generic inquiry writing course that really goes into those depths of how do I maximize this tool that I have. As James said, it's really valuable to have somebody in your business that's trained in those. Have that conversation with your support partner.
Totally.
All right,
100%.
Another question here, and this is a good one for you, Bev, but I'd also welcome you, James, to tag team and jump in. Bev, what do you see as the top benefits shifting from MYOB EXO to MYOB Advanced?
Oh, coming from being an MYOB EXO consultant to being madly in love with Advanced, and all it has to feature, lots, everything. No, seriously, I think the biggest feature is being in the cloud, accessible to anywhere. The product is moving. It is being developed, and new and improved features are coming all the time. The side panels, the dashboards, the ease of getting out your data, the ease of doing everything is just so much better than EXO.
Yeah, let me jump in as well.
Anything to add?
Yeah, let me jump in as well. Because, and again, my background is I've done implementations of EXO at the same time. I loved the EXO product, and I still do. I think it's a great product. So there's no bashing of EXO in the slightest.
Oh, no.
With Advanced though, Advanced is built for a different time. It really is. Okay. The way the technology and the focus, coming back to what I was saying earlier on in terms of disconnection, okay, you have a lot more opportunity to be able to build those integrated workflows, those streamlined, cohesive processes with Advanced than what you had with EXO. And so these are the things that drive efficiency inside the business. Okay, it gives you greater ability to really be able to start streamlining how you do things, bringing people together from a number of different places. So it's not just a technology area, it's more about what it delivers and the opportunities it brings to your business.
I might just expand upon that, James. I think it is about that. But you need to wrap your business processes with MYOB Advanced. If you take custom workflow steps, if you take the ability to add custom fields and attributes and what's coming with actually customizing the user interface, with business events, you can, even down to the customizable wiki, where you can document your own processes. You can really make sure that your business is automated, and that communication internally and that communication with your end client follows a very defined workflow. It is a very different piece of software. All right. Thank you, Denise. That was a great question. Another one here, and I might hit you up with this, Bev. Have you got your accounting hat on?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Right
Always.
answer. If a supplier does not deliver all your goods, what is the best way to record this? So warehouse, purchasing, and accounts payable are all in the loop on regard to the purchase order and the supplier invoice and the purchase receipt, reflecting the discrepancy. A little less accounting, a little bit more operations. Operations,
yeah. So I would ensure that you go through it the correct way. So you go from your purchase order, you would do your purchase receipt. You would key in the quantities that are being receipted in, and all these documents are linked to each other. So that will enable us to do some sort of generic inquiry reporting type of things, to be able to highlight those on a dashboard or through a email notification, push notification, however you as a business want to achieve that. But the links need to be maintained, because the purchase order will still be open, because not all the goods have been received, and you can go straight to your purchase order. You can see the PO history and see what receipts have happened, what bills have happened, and be able to track it all the way through the process in terms of, and right back into your purchase accrual accounts.
Perfect. Thanks, Bev. Another one here from Celia. Just thought of another question, some great questions coming through here. What about cash flow reporting? Is this available in MYOB Advanced? Bev, over to you, and James, you might want to butt in on this one too.
Cash flow reporting, it's always
that old chestnut.
That old chestnut, yes. Cash flow reporting for one company is different for another company. It's one of those things that everybody has different requirements around their cash flow reporting. There are some basic cash flow reports within MYOB Advanced that you could perhaps configure and work with your partner in order to do. The other option there is to build out your cash flow reporting using Velixo, because that's a little bit more flexible.
Yeah. James, anything to add around that chestnut?
It is a challenging chestnut, I've got to be honest, it really is, because it is very variable across a number of different, so yes, there's rudimentary, but it's not deep. You can extend on it via Velixo. There are other ISV solutions that can also extend on it.
Yeah, the other one to call out is also Focus, who have their budgeting and forecasting module. That's going quite deep into this sort of collaborative budgeting, as well as that more detailed cash flow forecasting piece. Again, reach out to your business partner for more details around that. And we've got two more. I might just call out last call for questions. We're nearly there. Now, a great one for you, Bev. Can you make certain fields mandatory to be filled in on certain screens? For example, if a salesperson was doing a return for credit, can we make it mandatory that the user selects the original invoice?
Oh. You can make certain fields mandatory through the use of a customization. So you would need to get your partner involved in doing that. In terms of making, I've never done that to make it that they select the original invoice, because the button is there to select invoice. I don't know, James, can we make that mandatory as well? I have never tried it.
No, you normally create it from that. So yeah, so it would normally automatically flow through. So coming back to part of the first part of the question, making the fields mandatory, as Bev was saying, customization at the moment, but that is one of the things when I was talking earlier on about the changes to the UI, etc. These are the things that will be flowing through in due course. But right now, as I say, it's a bit of a customization that has to be done.
Excited for that, new features.
Oh, tell me about it.
So reach out to your business partner. Yeah, more low code, no code type customizations and configurability is going to be absolutely embraced. One last one here. Employee self-service is not available to our service technicians via their smartphones. They must log into a PC. Is this something that will be updated? Now, employee self-service is available within the MYOB Advanced app. on your mobile phone. It might not be enabled for your users potentially, but it is functionality that's there available natively. So speak to your business partner. It's a great value add. Get that set up for them.
Yeah, no,
and I think
ESS is definitely available
questions.
inside the mobile phone. So it's just check whether it's enabled, as Steve's saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And onboarding coming soon.
Yes.
To MYOB Advanced, which is exciting.